Hello there, my YouTube family. How are you? I'm glad to be back with you. I'm Helen Sadler. I am your destiny helper. I am so glad to be with you. Thank you so much that in my travels you still email me, and thank you for the new subscribers. The email is, can a covert narcissist be dangerous? The answer is yes. A covert narcissist can be very dangerous. The word covert means that it's hidden, it's unrevealed, it's covered, it's not discovered, it's hidden away. And when you have a personality that's diabolical, that is self centered, that has a problem with grandiosity, they think they're the ultimate gift, male or female, and they are a narcissist, they can be very, very dangerous. Covert narcissists can be malignant, they can be violent, but they're so subtle. And a lot of times, people who are involved with a covert narcissist, they get involved with them without knowing who they are, because they usually have a personality. They are not overt, so they're very subtle in their behavior, even though they're very malignant, they're very mischievous, they're very cunning, they're very crafty in their behavior. They can be very mal-mannered, they can be very needy. And what I mean by needy, they always have a need base of to draw you in. They always have a story of something that happened to them, something that is wrong with them, and they draw in your emotion. They really, 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 really pull on your emotions until they lock you in mentally. You know, when you are with someone that have an ultimate goal and they are bent on that ultimate goal, they're very focused, they're very intentional, they're very skilled. Most covert narcissists that are very skilled, everything they do is intentional. Every question they ask, all the information they need to know about you, the love bombing. And a lot of times they take and they would prey on your sensitivity to them. And they love empaths. They love to get you caught up in their emotional story. They always tell you that something has happened to them. They begin to tell you things in their childhood. And the love bombing is just as intense with a covert narcissist as an overt narcissist. You got to remember, the love bombing is to get you, is to lock you, it is to get into your mental faculties, to build an image inside of you, to code you with them. And everything is about them. They are terrible listeners. They are not interested in what you have to say. They are not interested in what is going on with you. Everything is still about them. And a lot of times, because they're covert, they're subtle, they are hidden away, it's not revealed, but it won't be long before the mask come off. The intensity of the addiction to the narcissist is the same. The intensity of the selfishness, it's the same. They gaslight, they discard, they are very accusatory, they triangulate, just like a overt narcissist. Just because the mask didn't come off right away doesn't delete them from the character that they are. I think a lot of times you can get caught up in the covert narcissist. It's because they are a little well mannered. Many of them are more mannerable than other narcissists. They're more subtle. They seem to be more caring until little things. If you listen to what they say, they are very conversational about what they want. They seem to take an interest in you. They seem to listen to you in the beginning, but it's not. Everything they're doing, they're grafting information. They're building a file on you to know exactly what you like, to know exactly what you'll do, to know exactly what you respond. All narcissists live off of fuel. They do not live off of love. And one thing about the covert narcissists, there are certain narcissists that may vacillate from one woman to another woman, and they don't really bring a lot of women into their world where other narcissists have a copious amount of relationships and tremendous amount of women and men in their venue. A covert narcissist know how to get into your heart without being discovered. And by the time you recognize what has happened, they are there, but they get you obligated to take care of them. They get you obligated to do things for them. You are obligated, and you almost feel like you're doing something wrong if you don't. You feel a conviction. You feel condemnation. You feel an obligation to take care of the narcissist because of the covert narcissist, because he's subtle and he is very, 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 very patient. And that's one thing you can say about narcissists. Usually narcissists, when they want something, they're very patient in their entrapment. They lay their traps out with precision. The more skilled the covert narcissist is, the more dangerous he is. He has no intentions, she has no intentions of changing her mind about what they want. When they have a target, they target that specimen because they have something in mind. Once that target is fulfilled, like the narcissists do, they discard that target as if it meant nothing. It just trash. It's put away. It's not thought of unless there's another reason for the narcissist. The narcissist, if they marry you and have children, is still the same. Usually the narcissist in a relationship, a marital relationship, and with children will have the one golden child, and everybody else there is just a scapegoat. Or they have a golden child from another family, and it doesn't matter how many children you have, those children are just totally ignored. The covert narcissist is a master at pulling your emotions in. They are a master at building codings inside of you. They build the imagery of who they want you to be. They build the imagery of who they want you to know that they are. And they stay with that imagery. They build it, they build it, they build it, they build it until they bring down the hammer. All narcissists specialize in trauma bonding, because if you fall out of love with the narcissist, you don't fall out of trauma bonding. And some people who no longer love the narcissist are now maintaining the relationship because of trauma. Trauma is very, very, very powerful in keeping you bonded to the narcissist, especially the covert, because now you are feeling so much responsibility. You become a caretaker. They specialize in you taking care of them. There is a different kind of commitment when you feel obligated that this person cannot make it without you. A narcissist is very self-sufficient, but a covert narcissist would get under your skin and make you feel like they cannot do without you. They're not going to make it if you are not there. You have to be smart enough to know once the mask is off. See, the thing is with a covert narcissist, it takes more time in order for the mask to fall off. An overt narcissist is very malignant, very loud, very vicious, and they just parade with what they want from you. And I mean, they just don't care how you feel. The covert narcissist is very subtle. And when you have a mannerable a narcissist, very gentleman-like, or she is very caring-like, she's the one, she goes and fixes the meals. She's the one that makes sure the house is there. Even if she's a businesswoman, she makes sure that your food is there, the house is there. She makes sure that you do less as possible, and more obligation falls on her, because her intention is to hook you and to get you to believe in her, to get you to trust in her. His thing is to make you feel that there's no one to cover you, because most men know women look for security and safety, and their love is feeling secure. Their love is feeling safe. So the narcissist, the male narcissist, make sure that woman feel protected, and they come on like they're going to cover you, and they come come into your life like they're going to take and protect you, like you have nothing to be concerned about because they are there for you, and that they are dependable and they are loyal, because that's the way all of them start off. You got to remember that the love bombing phase is the phase that is going to be the hinge to the total relationship. It's going to be the connector to the total relationship. And based on how they lock in that initial love bombing, if things start to fall off, it gives them the adhesive to take and reattach to the initial love bombing phase and to pull you in, where every time they feel like you're getting ready to go, they may not do the golden love bombing, they may do the bronze love bombing. They don't do everything they did at first, but it's enough to attract you, it's enough to keep you, it's enough to lock you. And one thing about a covert narcissist, they keep the keys to your heart always in their pocket, even if they discard. And the way the covert narcissists discard, they just drop you. But you got to remember, they spend time with that glue, the glue that they call love. A narcissist does not love you, but they know what you want. And because many of them have been in so many relationships, which means all these feelings have been unlocked, scenarios have been unlocked, trouble situations have been unlocked. They've had a lot of controversy in their relationship. They've had to handle the controversy in their relationship. So they got all of this information locked down in their mental computer system. And they bring these files up when a situation comes. They do a reference order and they reference the situation that they had before, and they try to modularize that situation to you. And so you really feel obligated when people tell you, you know, and when you get around a covert narcissist, it's something about them. You don't feel totally at peace. You feel a little restless. You feel, sometimes you may even feel nauseated. You feel like something is wrong where everything look right, but you don't have that rest. It's like having anxiousness about you. You can't rest. You don't have peace, but you can't put your hand on what's wrong because everything seemed right. They seem to say the right things. You know, they master the touch. They master their words. They are not argumentative. You know, when they get into conversations with you, they are really poor listeners unless they have a purpose. And when they have a purpose, then they want to listen to you. But if you notice, once the purpose is gone, the covert narcissists talk while you're talking, and they cut you off from talking because their whole interest is not there with you. It is to finalize what they want. It is to initiate what they want. It is to cater to what they want. A covert narcissist is just as malignant. They have all of the physiological impact as an overt narcissist. The overt narcissists usually drive you quicker. They drive you harder, and they do it massively, where the covert narcissist may be long term. It's like taking a little bit of arsenic, dying slow, but it's still poison in your system. That's the covert narcissist. And once you recognize that you're dealing with a narcissist, please do not take this for granted. A lot of times they are so covert or hidden away and subtle until you start explaining away things that you're seeing. You're saying it can't be that because they are this. They are a narcissist. NPD is NPD. No matter what happens, no matter how they are, no matter how handsome, how beautiful, how invigorating your intimate moments is, a narcissist is a narcissist that think like a narcissist. Covert means they're just hidden away. The mask doesn't come off quickly, and they are subtle. They're not sympathetic. They're more needy. They are more needy. They like the mom syndrome. They like the dad syndrome. And so you end up doing and giving and doing and giving and doing and giving. And they're just as draining. As a matter of fact, even more draining, because the overt narcissists, usually they're needy, but they're not as needy. The convert is really pity. They dwell on pity. They make you feel pitiful for them. They make you feel obligated to cater to them. And their emotion is always in the gutter. It's always something wrong. Something never turns out right. People are always after them. They always need you to take it to another level to give to them. And they pull and they pull and they pull. And you notice even though they're covert, they are not giving back. They're not giving back. And it's just as draining. They get younger from the fuel that they're getting from you. You're getting more dried out, dehydrated emotionally, dehydrated mentally, dehydrated in your will. And if you notice, your will is getting stronger toward them. If you're going to church, you're going to church less. If you're having a business, you're struggling in your business. If you're having a family, you're seeing your family less. Why? Because they need all of your attention. Because they always have problems for you to solve, matters for you to deal with. So you can't be with the family. Then when you're with friends, there's always something wrong with the friend. Always the friend disrespecting, the friend not honoring, too much time with the friend. You will find yourself with the covert narcissist alone, like the overt narcissist. It's just the technique that they use are different, but it's still obligatory. And you will find that you are just as addicted to the covert, and even more so because they get all in your emotions and make you feel obligated and responsible for them emotionally. Even when you have wealthy covert narcissists, they come and undermine, they give to you to get from you. And if they're giving you $200,000 will pull you in, you get 200,000, but the cost of that $200,000 is your life. It is your mind. It is your energy. It is your will. It is your children. It is your dreams. It costs you your everyday. They want your life. They want to replace God. They want to replace the most important, intricate things in your life. They want everything to be secondary. Children are secondary. Your goal, secondary. Your ambition, secondary. And if you notice, when you're with the covert, you'll dream less. Your creativity start to diminish because everything goes into them. Your business, if you don't have a person in place to subsidize your absence, your business starts to suffer. If you are a business person and you know that you're dealing with a covert narcissist, you get around them, you're feeling nauseated, you're feeling sick, you're feeling anxious, you know something is wrong, you can't put your hand on it. Trust your instinct. Stop dismissing your instinct, because do you know that you can see something that is not right, but your brain will start to negotiate the terms. Your brain will start to compromise the term because they have coded you to compromise. They have coded you as to they are. You can see them talking with a person and they grab hands or they kiss, and you saw them with your own eyes and you question them and they'll say, I didn't do that. I didn't kiss them. Oh, that's when they just kissed me on the cheek. You're like, no, I saw you kiss them in the mouth. I didn't kiss them in the mouth. I kissed them on the cheek. There you go again. You're accusing me. You know you're the only one I love. You know you're the only one I care for. You know you have my heart. And then they start like they're breaking down, weeping. They are not weeping. This is a game. It's an emotional game. It's like Pac-Man. You eat everything in your path until you get so big in a person's life, until you literally take over their life. The covert is Pac-Man. They're eating up your emotion. They're getting bigger. They're eating up your thoughts. They're getting bigger. They're eating up your reality. They're getting bigger. You no longer know the reality. You saw them with your own eyes, but your brain has compromised the term because of the code that they placed on the inside of you. The longer you are with them, the more substantiated the code, inner coding that they put on the inside of your emotion to dictate who you are, are, to define who you are, to define your limitations, to define how far you go, to define what you can have, to define who can be around you, to define how you can dress. A covert narcissist would tell you, don't wear makeup. And everything he look at is made up. A covert narcissist would build a standard in your life that they don't intend to follow. And so when you question them about the standard that they say is authorized for you, but it is not preferable for them, then what they tell you is, I love you, but you're trying to control me. Why do you hurt me like that? Remember, the covert always like pity, sympathy, and they like to undermine, because many of them are not they are aggressive in what they're doing, but they're not aggressive in their personality until you bring them to a place where they explode. But then when they do that, they are no longer covert, they are overt. So the covert narcissist has to play by the terms of subtlety. They have to play by the terms of the hidden, the concealed, the unobvious. They don't want it to be obvious of who they are. They want so much question in your mind until you lose reality of who they really are. And they're so mannerable until you think something is wrong with you. You think that you are the problem. You think that you initiated the wrong. You think that it has to be you. You think that it can't be them. You think because they're doing things, they're nice, and you're thinking how horrible you must be not to appreciate them, not to value them. And they even play the game with the kids. They hold the kids. They have no intention. Any other time they're gone, they're busy. But now you'll begin to question. You'll begin to see things and keep from losing you. They love the children. They don't love the children. They're using the children. They will assist you with housework. They will cook for you. They will help you clean. They will help the kids. They will come home for a little bit and then and allow time with you. But as soon as they get what they want, they'll tell you you're too oppressive, you're too domineering, you're trying to pull the life out of them. They need a break. They have to take a break and a breather. So whatever you have will last, and you are totally confused. Confusion is a number one bank card in the narcissist bank. They use confusion and they maximize confusion, because you got to remember, inner coding is powerful. That's why you can see things that happen with your mom, your grandmother. It's a generational thing, and this generational structure comes into play down the lineage, and you find yourself doing what grandmom did, what mom did. The narcissists know how to play on that. The narcissists know how to school you to code you. Yes, a covert narcissist can be very malignant, very dangerous. Watch out when you meet someone and your system just go haywire. You can't put your hand on it. Take notice of that. Notice when you feel nauseated. Notice when your stomach starts turning. Notice when you feel antsy. Notice when things don't quite match up. You see one thing, you experience another thing. Trust your instinct. You will be your number one protection of you. Stop allowing other folks to replace you being number one with you. You allow other people to replace your priority and seniority in your life. Nobody does that but God. God would be number one, but not humanity, because they will fail you. They will turn on you. They get disgruntled. They change their mind. They change their ways. They change their behavior. They take you through all psychological atrocities, and you yield to it until you question yourself. And now you have questioned yourself until you have lost phase of who you are. You are living in pieces, because pieces of you is totally being dismissed, totally being distracted, because you will not lock down the truth that you see and the truth that you know. You are in a battleground now for your mind. The covert narcissist is very, very observant. You can see it in their eyes. It's like a snake that is waiting for the mistake to be made. You see it, but you don't believe it, so you convince yourself otherwise. Many times, many of you are talking your own self out of situation. It's not that the narcissist has to. They build the code in you to do it. It's self-destruction, self-mutilation, self-doubt, self-trauma. You start traumatizing yourself. And once you get used to fighting yourself, you no longer add value to yourself. You start dismissing the value. You start dismissing the worth. And you are there with them. They add to their worth. They add to their value. You got to remember, everything that is deduced or subtracted from you is added to them. They are multiplying, they are growing, they are expanding, they are increasing. You're deducing, you're subtracting, you're getting little, you're getting smaller. And pretty soon, the person you see and the person you are dealing with, you have no idea who that person is. And the narcissists really don't care, because now they tell you, you don't look like you used to look, you don't do what you used to do. Because everything that was alive dies. A covert narcissist is just as dangerous. Remember, stop excusing things you see. Stop excusing things you know. Start paying attention to what your body is telling you. Start paying attention to what your mind is telling you. You don't want a person so desperate until you have to die for them to live. You don't want a person so desperate until all of your goals, all of your dreams are no longer there. You don't want to be with a person losing yourself. Once you lose yourself, you take away your reason for existence. And it even sometimes, the narcissist may even try to get you to take yourself out of this world so you can be out of the way. It doesn't stop them from triangulating. It doesn't stop them for gaslighting. It doesn't stop them for lying. It doesn't stop anything. You have to be wise enough to know that you too have to go on. When the mask is off, what do you see? Maybe for some of you, you need to write down what you see. Hide your journal away so they don't get your journal. But write down what you see. I saw this and this happened. Write it down, because sometimes that's your convincing mechanism. When you read it, you know it happened because you wrote it when it happened and you wrote it as it happened. So when they tell you it didn't happen, you know that it did. And you are not crazy. You are not losing your mind. You are giving it up. Take it back. Take your mind back. Take your thoughts back. Take your emotions back. Take your dreams back. Take your time back. You have one shot at this and one time at this, and that's your life. Make sure you live your life to the full, because a covert narcissist will take away everything, your breath, your time, and they will leave you with nothing. If you crawl, they want that too, because you're still in motion, you're still in movement. You got to remember, you are so hated and uncared for until you are on a deleted list at any given time. And you are pouring your life into something that has a bottomless hole in it. It does not end. The more you give, the more you have to give. The more you know to give, the more they take, until you have given everything and you have nothing left for you. Then the next thing is you cease to exist. No, you must exist. Life is huge. Life is big, and it includes you. Well, I hope I've answered your question, and I hope I made things plain for you. Covert narcissism is still narcissism. It's still trauma bonding. It's still painful. It's still malicious and devious. And it still hurts, as you can see. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I would appreciate it very much. Thank you so much. Please leave your comments at the bottom of this program, and I will respond to you. I'm Helen Sattler. I am your destiny helper.